Hey, good afternoon. This is Senator Craig Brandt. I'm glad that you could join us on the Roundhouse Rundown. This is episode 15. I am joined here today by Senator David Gallegos and founder of Safe Haven Baby Box, Monica Kelsey. Monica, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about your organization, what they do, and I'd really, if you have the number off the top of your head, tell us about how many babies you've saved. How many lives have baby boxes saved?
Well,
So far.
Thanks for inviting us on. We really appreciate it. Safe Haven Baby Boxes was founded out of my own story of being abandoned as an infant. And so I took my pain and I took my story and I put them together and I formed an organization to help moms that my birth mother didn't have this option. And so now we give parents this option. And, Safe Haven Baby Boxes is now in 15 states. We have 209 active baby boxes across the country. And we've had 43 infants come through the baby box and 147 handoffs. So almost 200 infants have come through the program since I founded it in 2016. So, I look at those numbers and I think we're just getting started.
Right.
People are just now trusting us. These parents that are utilizing these boxes, they're starting to trust us because we're fighting for them. We're fighting for the moms, we're fighting for the babies. And truly that's what it's all about when we put ourselves out there so much.
So tell us a little bit about the box itself. What, is it just a box that someone drops them off? Do they put them in a box and ring a doorbell, kind of like you see on TV sometimes?
Yeah.
How's the box work and how's that functioning?
So the box is actually pretty simple. It's more than a box, of course, but it's an electronically monitored device. And so basically what we do, and when I say we, it's not me, it's somebody that knows what they're doing when they cut a hole in the side of a firehouse. But we cut a hole in the side of a firehouse and we slide the baby box in. So the inside of the baby box is on the inside of the firehouse. And the outside is where mom places baby. So basically, it's just kind of another door into the firehouse. But as soon as mom opens that door, the door actually locks. And so, it alarms and then it locks once baby's placed inside. And so they're electronically monitored. So as soon as the door opens, it's calling 911 on its own. Wow. So mom doesn't have to touch anything. She doesn't have to push anything. The only thing she has to do is open the door, place the newborn inside, shut the door, and literally walk away. That is it. The babies in our boxes, the average time is right about 2 minutes in the box, and they're heated and they're cooled and stuff like that. But the longest time a baby's ever been in our box is 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Wow, that's
so
awesome.
It's a huge difference from the 6 hours that the Hobbs baby was in that dumpster. 2 minutes versus 6 hours in a dumpster. I think we've got it figured out.
Yeah, that is really awesome. David, how did you get involved in this, and how'd you get to know Monica?
Well, I'm blessed to know her, but and the reality is we'd had a bill the prior year for Safe Haven Box before the young lady threw her baby in the dumpster in Hobbs.
Yes.
But that alerted me to how important this is to get resolved right away and to be able to get that opportunity to the moms. That started the process of how do we do this? How do we get the money for the install of the boxes? How do we get through legislation? And after Espanola had passed theirs or done theirs without the influence of the state legislature, it really motivated me to learn from them. So we took their ordinance. We've been giving that out statewide. Anytime someone calls and asks, first thing is I give them the ordinance, then I give them Monica's number and say, put the two together because,
call her.
Well, the partnership has been so incredible because people are now calling on a regular basis. How do we get this? How do we start? Where do we go? And it's just a short process. I mean, you get the ordinance, you talk to it to your city council or your county commission. They contact Monica and her group, and they start the process of getting the box prepped and for the location. So some are in hospitals. We did one in Alamogordo that was in a hospital. We've done multiple fire stations, but some could be city, some could be county. Now we have the ombudsman for the state of New Mexico that's following us around. And she's wanting more, not the 33 that I'd envisioned, but she's wanting more per county as need shows value. And so if Bernalillo, huge county, if they need 8, 10, the state is willing to fund that.
That's awesome.
Ms. Sasser, who's the ombudsman for the Department of Finance Authority, She follows us around. She's at all the blessings.
She is. Yeah, she does. She
and
travels a lot.
She's engaged. I missed the one in Farmington, and I'm so sorry.
No.
But she goes because she's actively involved in this process, and she sees the value statewide.
Yeah.
So it's been an incredible
It has.
journey. So, and I know here, we have her here in Santa Fe today because we're actually meeting with CYFD in order to fix an error that's in the bill, in the statute right now,
Right.
that we're trying to get ready. If we were to have special session, which we're probably not now, we're finding out. But if we did, we would be prepared for that. If not, we'll have everyone, the governor's office will be there, we'll be there, CYFD is going to be there, Department of Public Safety is going to be. So we're going to have a lot of people in the room to get the wording right. So that way we can actually distinguish between protecting the mother and finding, if the child's abused, the perpetrator.
Right.
And right now they can't distinguish between the two. So I'm really, really grateful that you decided to fly out to New Mexico specifically for a meeting to be able to help CYFD get this wording right. because
Well,
gonna be
it's important to mention that CYFD put this meeting together.
They did.
You know, we've been very vocal about them not looking for these parents when these babies are not abused, and they're not over the age of 90 days. We shouldn't be looking for these parents. And we've been Safe Haven Baby Boxes has been very vocal about this needing to be changed. And for CYFD to come forward and say, let's put everybody around a table and let's talk about this. That speaks volumes for CYFD.
But, and I'm going to give you credit. So I had to call her 2 weeks ago, Friday.
I am a little vocal, Senator. You know this. Yeah, I am a little vocal.
I had to explain to her that I needed to negotiate with the governor and with CYFD.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it over the message on Facebook and TikTok. So she gave me the grace that
Nice.
she would yield to me to give me a couple of weeks to get this done. And tomorrow it's 2 weeks and we actually have movement. And that's the
We
main
do.
thing. We need to have that discussion. We need to do what's right by the mom
Yeah.
because she's giving an option that's very hard for her.
Absolutely.
I'm not a mom, but I have a granddaughter and I have daughters. I would know how hard it'd be for me to give up a child, but they're doing for this in the best interest of the child. And historically, New Mexico's not known for that.
Well, no, and these parents that do place in our boxes, they're basically saying, I want what's best for my child, and it's not me.
Right.
And so we need to
Right.
honor them. We need to
Oh, we
say,
need-
you know what? It's okay to choose this.
Right.
We've
Yeah,
made this
absolutely.
legal for you. It's okay for you to choose this. And honestly, sometimes being a good parent is choosing something tough like this. You know, does it come without pain? No, there's pain involved when a woman surrenders her child, but everyone wins. An infant's life goes on, the biological parents' lives go on, and a set of adoptive parents are getting the call that a child is available for adoption, which they've probably been praying for many, many years.
Absolutely.
And so everyone wins, but we also recognize that it is not without pain. There is pain involved in this, but these parents need to be, I don't want to say rewarded, but I do want to say rewarded for them standing up and saying, I want something better for my child. And we can't let an agency go after these parents. And so
Yeah.
we're here to change this.
And honestly, if they're giving them up in this way, it's because they want that autonomy.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't want anyone to know. They don't want to be investigated
Right.
for whatever reason. And
Right.
it could just be that they don't want their name to be attached. And so,
Right.
we need to make sure that government isn't in the way
Right.
of allowing these young parents or older parents, these parents to be able to say, I want, again, what's best for my child. How do I go through that? How do I go about that? We've always had where you can take the baby to a hospital, but to do that, you're on camera, you're on, so this really sets that up in a different way. Help me. I didn't realize the 90 days thing. Why is it only for 90 days and not for the first year?
Well, interesting enough, the state of Nebraska actually passed a safe haven law about 10 years ago and didn't put an age limit on it. And one family brought 6 kids to the firehouse.
Wow.
And so there has to be an age limit. Now, older children, CYFD can get involved to help facilitate the older children, but the safe haven law was enacted to save the life of a child and keep them out of dumpsters and trash cans. So that has always been our focus first. If we can help the parent, we want to help the parent.
Sure.
But the focus has always been on keeping these babies in safe places rather than dumpsters and trash cans. And as you know, just probably better than anyone, the devastation that's happened in New Mexico over the last 2 years, and how we're turning the tide here now. I mean, we have 7 boxes in the state of New Mexico, and we've already had 2 infants here in the last 6 months.
Right.
And so we're turning the tide. We're taking the children that was being left in dumpsters and trash cans, and now they're being placed in our boxes because they want that anonymity piece.
Right.
And so it's important for Safe Haven Baby Boxes to fight to get that for these parents.
That's awesome. I think this is a great program. My only disappointment in this whole thing is my own city hasn't put one in.
Where are you from?
I'm in Rio Rancho.
Rio Rancho,
We have a
okay.
really strong conservative council, and they've not done this. And so it's been a little frustrating for me. And David explained that there's some changes that need to happen to the law, around what they perceive as liability issues.
Oh yeah.
And so, we need to make those happen. And as the whip, I said to David, you'll have my full support and our caucus's full support in working with the leaders of the other side of the aisle to make sure this is a priority for our next session.
Thank you.
Get this done. Let's get this solved. Let's continue to save the lives of children. I really want to thank the CYFD director and that department for really stepping up and having this meeting so we can get the language right, so we can solve this issue, so that these babies can go straight from being surrendered to an adoptive family and not have to sit in foster care.
Right.
That is really critical to this. We have many, many families that are waiting for children, that have been waiting to adopt a baby.
Yeah.
And let's take these babies that are being surrendered in this way. Let's not have them being surrendered in trash cans anymore.
Right.
Let's not have them being killed anymore. Let's have it where we can get that baby to a family and save that life. So thank you so much
Thank you.
for really pushing this across the nation. I look forward to the day when you're able to come back and say, we have this in all 50 states.
I'm
And,
working as hard as I
and
can.
we have saved the lives of numerous babies. So, give us give the audience a little bit of information on how they can contact you if they want to get involved and help with your project and your group to save the lives of babies and just save children's lives.
Well, the best way to go is to go to our website, which is shbb.org. They can donate. Now, we're a nonprofit organization. And so everything that we do is by donations and fundraising. They can sponsor a bassinet. They can sponsor a medical bag. They can just make a one-time donation or a monthly donation, if they just want to give $5 a month or $10 a month or whatever. But that will help us continue to keep going into more states and working with these states. And if there's somebody that wants to volunteer, we're always looking for volunteers. As a nonprofit, that's really important for us to get people on the ground in these cities, helping us keep these babies out of dumpsters and trash cans. And then follow us on social media. This is critical. I never wanted to be on TikTok, and now we have almost 1 million followers on TikTok. But
Wow.
the women, we're hearing from these women that are surrendering in our boxes after they surrender that they've seen it on TikTok. And so we have to be where these women are.
Right.
And so we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Follow us, learn what we're doing, learn the different things that we need help with, and see if that's something that's in your wheelhouse where you can help us. And it's really going to take us all. It really is. It's going to take us all to be the hands and feet of Christ to get this nation back to where it needs to be.
And actually, I appreciate all your different venues that you're on. But when they start calling me all at one time, and when it went viral, it went viral. But I appreciate
We love our supporters.
Yeah,
I'm going to
no.
tell you, we love our supporters, because when we say that there's a problem, they
They
sometimes they're a little much.
But and they responded quickly. They knew the detail more before I did. So, but I did want to tell you. So we reached out to a national organization on getting the language right, because as you said, to have this in every state in the nation would be ideal.
Right. Absolutely.
We're doing that.
Yeah.
The verbiage we have now could be used across the nation
We call that model legislation.
Yes.
Right?
Model, yeah.
from New Mexico.
Yeah, if we can get some model legislation from New Mexico where we can share it with our colleagues from other states, then they can actually go into their states, pass this law, ahead of time.
Mhm.
And then you can come in and help them set up the baby boxes. What a great thing that would be, right? How many lives would be saved then? And that's really what we're talking about here, folks, is just saving babies' lives. That's what being pro-life is about, right?
Yeah.
Being pro-life is not just about before birth. It is about being pro-life.
Right.
We need to be supporting parents. We need to be getting involved after birth.
We need to be the hands and feet
we
of
need
Christ.
to be the hands and feet of Christ. Absolutely. And, so how can people get more involved here in the state to help this happen here? David, we always try to end all of these with some kind of an action that our people can become a part of. And if you're not following us, our handle is Roundhouse Roundup. And you can follow us on our Senate Republican page on Facebook, and we're on Spotify and YouTube. And so this is in all those places. Follow us, keep up with what's happening in the state. But how can they help in this state? Can they get involved by, maybe sending cards to some of the legislators that get them involved, encourage them to pass this, send cards to the
anytime
governor.
a legislator gets encouraged in a positive way, I'd say
Absolutely.
that's really good. But I really think that contacting your city and county to get them started, so they could reach out to myself, 575-390-7570, or look up Deputy Chief Wickersham, Otterville, Espanola. So I literally use his ordinance as a cookie cutter to send to people. So my thing is, they started this process and they did a great job.
Awesome.
That if they make contact with him or with me, I don't mind that. I get a lot of calls, not so many right now in this 2-week moratorium, but it's worth it. I see the value in people calling. I've had one at 9:30 at night. How do we get the ordinance? Well, give me a little bit. Let me send that to you. But it's just one of those things, because that's a starting conversation.
Yep.
And they're wanting to find out how to get started. And your website's a great place to go. But if they need an ordinance that's state specific,
Call you.
the one that,
Midnight, 1:00 in the morning, just call Senator Gallegos.
after about 1 a.m., well, let's call Wick.
Okay, let's call John Wickersham from Espanola after 1 a.m. He's the only one that's
But-
still up
And John is in the room with us. If you're wondering, we're not selling him out. So, but John's in the room with us today, and we really appreciate. He's the one that got this thing started in our state in Espanola. We appreciate him. He's going to be on an episode with us as well that you'll be able to watch. And just so I would encourage you, talk to your city councils and say, look, let's get this started now. We're going to get the law fixed in January, if not before then, so that we can, and we'll try to do an emergency clause so that thing will become law right away, so that we can get this issue of liability fixed. But get with your county commissions, get with your city councils, and get these in your county. Get these in your city. Let's start saving the lives of children in New Mexico. If you want to get more involved, I'm not going to let you call me, because I get called 24 hours a day as it is. But you can email me at Senate40, spell out 40, FORTY @gmail.com. And I can get the word to David, or if you just want to get involved in helping us as Republicans to do the right thing in the state of New Mexico and help New Mexico become better, Senate40, spell out 40, FORTY @gmail.com. And we'll get you in touch with the people you need to get in touch with, and help you to take action, become a part of saving lives here in New Mexico. Thank you so much for joining us, Monica. Thank you for
Senator.
flying in. Really looking forward to the discussion with COIFD and being able to get behind that as a caucus. And I think we can get the other side to come behind it too.
Thank you.
David, thank you so much. Did you have something
I
else?
do. Just one, if you get a chance to reach out to anyone on CYFD, thank them for making this meeting available to us. It is very hard. I have always been known at lashing out for CYFD if they do something wrong. I want to give them credit when they do something right, because this meeting today is going to change New Mexico. So
That's so awesome. And I would encourage you on all of this. When you're contacting your legislators, don't be negative.
Yeah.
Don't be attacking.
Yep.
Be positive. Do it in a positive nature. You will get a better response. Even if you disagree with what they're doing, thank them for standing in the gap and serving, and then say, I don't like this vote, or I don't like this position. But on this topic, just thank them ahead of time, because I know you're going to support this. I know you're going to be involved in making this a reality, because there is no downside to it.
That's right.
So thank you for taking that action. Send them a card, send them an email. You can find their email addresses, here at the state. But get involved. We can change New Mexico, but it takes your action. It takes you getting involved. Let them know this is a priority of yours. Thank you for joining us again on a Roundhouse Rundown. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Senator.